Back in 2017, the Universal Monsters were attempted to launch a brand new cinematic universe. This is because the monsters were the original cinematic universe from the 1930s. Marvel just revived the idea in the 2010s. However, Tom Cruise's The Mummy was more focused on setting up a cinematic universe rather than being its own good movie. And it looks like the Dark Universe was going to be used for a bunch of superhero movies anyway. So I'm going to relaunch the idea as a light horror, monster, slasher cinematic universe. So what I'm going to do with this cinematic universe is start off with characters who haven't had a spotlight on the silver screen for a long time. So I think you, the viewer, are in for a ball. Starting off, Phase 1. I'd say we start with Creature from the Black Lagoon. As of 2024, a new Creature from the Black Lagoon movie is in development by James Wan. So let's say we cancel that movie. Or just have him work on this. The Creature from the Black Lagoon has a huge history when it comes to scrapped remakes. So for this movie, we follow 2 tour guides and 3 families of tourists accidentally boating into a new area in the South American jungle. The new area is the Black Lagoon itself. A kid dies, a hot girl gets raped by the creature because the creature is a womanizer. Yeah, see what I did there? The next movie is gonna be The Mummy. Now, the reason why I'm bringing back The Mummy here is because the previous Mummy movies have all been action movies. So for this movie, I want to bring back the cliched zombie mummy. So this movie is about an archaeologist finding a mummy known as Karis, and he's taking advantage of the curse that turns this mummy into his slave, going on both a murderous and a thief rampage. Basically, this movie is a villain's perspective of both Karis and the archaeologist, and at the end the archaeologist is killed by Karis himself. The third movie is Phantom of the Opera. I don't know too much about the Phantom of the Opera play myself, so I'm gonna make stuff up here. This Phantom of the Opera movie would be a modern setting Phantom of the Opera. This movie would be about the Phantom looking after the descendants of his daughter, and he kills anyone who gets in all their ways. I say it like that because it's generational. And this movie is from the perspective of course, the descendant he's looking after right now. I also wanted to make the Phantom immortal, mostly to give him a monster edge to him. This movie would also be a gun show movie. Not necessarily action, but gunslinging whenever the Phantom comes in. The fourth movie is going to be the one you've all been waiting for, Frankenstein. This is another movie that takes place in modern day. A college graduate named John Frankenstein has the desire to create life after hearing legends of his ancestors, Henry and Victor Frankenstein. He becomes friends with a disabled man named Fritz, and they both bring this monster to life. However, the monster becomes an isolated, angry, sad man and kills anyone who gets in his way. However, what John doesn't know is that this monster of his has a good side and can be manipulated easily, so he uses the monster for his own malice. The fifth and final film of Phase 1 is going to be Legends Collide. Legends Collide, if that name sounds familiar, was a haunted house at Universal Halloween Horror Nights back in 2022, but replaced Dracula, the Mummy, and the Wolfman with the Gillman, the Mummy, the Phantom, and Frankenstein's monster. This movie will take place in LA, as John kidnapped all the monsters reported over the years, even some criminals throughout the countries of each, turned the sets of the entertainment capital of the world into their own battleground, making it the most fishy, zombified, immortal entertainer, and creation battle of the century!